Isn't it interesting, though, how celebrating an anniversary really causes you to reflect and think back to a time in your life when, I don't know, early on in your 20s when you're getting married, some people...
Oh.
I believe in getting married when you're like 40, right?
Right.
Anything younger than that, in my book, is way too young.
Well, listen, I, as a younger person, was never going to be married. I certainly was not having children.
That's right.
I would never quit my job for my kids. I did all three.
Oh.
I did all three. So if I could have fast forwarded and said, well, pay attention, girlfriend, because your life is not how you're planning it right now.
Completely. But that's like the beauty about life, that it doesn't unfold the way we all plan.
Absolutely.
And I remember in my early 20s feeling like I really had my life together. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, like things are together. And this is... I actually took offense when older people would say, like, oh, you're in your 20s, you don't know. I don't think it's that when you're younger you don't know. I just think your priorities shift. You know, what's important to you and how you spend your time and money completely evolves, or at least for me, it has.
No, I totally agree with that. And, you know, I think sometimes as a younger person, we're told, well, this is your life. This is what you're expected to do. And so that's how we go through life until we sort of have a shift, some of us, right? And think, well, that's not really what I want to do. Even though I'm being told, like, I need to do this and then do this and then do this.
There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Social pressure, family pressure.
Absolutely. I remember dating Orlando in the beginning, and I said something like, well, I don't get attached because I'm not staying here very long. It wasn't necessarily all like that, but I basically was saying, because he was from Utah, and I'm like, I'm not living my life here. I'm out.
Oh.
Like, I was kind of saying, don't get used to me. I'm going to be gone. Because, you know, the big TV world, I was on, you know, I wanted to go.
Where were you going to go?
Oh, I don't know. But
and it turns
that
out
was a stop for me.
But you lived and worked in Salt Lake for 6 years.
I did, yeah, and I never thought I would sign a second contract there. So it was just, you never know. You never know.
Life happens.
I know.
Well, this whole conversation sort of inspired us to ask our viewers, if you follow Houston Life on Facebook, we want to know, what advice would you give to your teenage self? So the you now, if you could talk to yourself when you were younger, in high school maybe, what advice would you give? And this was also inspired by a BuzzFeed article that's been trending. And I think it's a really poignant conversation to have, because not only does it help us reflect on things that we've experienced in our lives, but I think if you have young people in your life, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, kids, it's important to sort of talk them through the bumps in the road. Because I think oftentimes adults make the mistake of thinking like, oh, young people today, like they have it easy. It's so much easier now. I mean, they have role models on the internet and all of this. No, it's when you look at like depression rates, and young people go through a lot, right?
Absolutely.
So I think having these conversations with those young people in our lives is such an important thing we could all do.
It really is. And I remember growing up too and thinking, my mom doesn't know anything. She don't know how I feel. You know, you kind of think your parents have never been young when you're a child and you're a teenager and think, oh, my parents aren't cool. You know, you kind of think they have no idea what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And then there was that moment. I apologized to my mom all the time for the years of 13 to 21, because I had the revelation at 21 where I realized she is a real human being. She has experienced life. And her life. She knows exactly what she's talking about.
Well, her life didn't begin the moment you arrived either. She's had this whole lifetime of experiences.
Right. Right. It's very interesting. But, you know, Connor's going to be 13. And so you kind of have those conversations of, I know how you feel, or I know what's happening. And, you know, they eye roll you. And
because when you're 13, I mean, your parents.
You are
like
ruling the world.
Right?
Yes.
We have gotten some viewer comments so far, and this first one is coming in. Don't get married at 17. Oh, wow, way too young to know what you really want in life.
Yes, that is.
And Emily says, dump him. That is great advice. Get out of a bad situation.
Yes, and then Denise says, stay single as long as you can.
Oh my gosh. Guys, this is, I think we're all sort of speaking the same language today. I have a lot of friends. I graduated high school in 1999, and I had friends who married my senior year or even immediately after in that following year. And so I have friends my age with kids already in college, which is kind of a trip, right?
Yeah.
I also have many friends who are sadly divorced, like in their late 20s, and now like rethinking their whole lives. Everyone has a different journey, you know.
Sure, and I think we have another comment too from our question, and this is from Janine, and says it's not that important, and you won't even remember this when you're sliding into 50. Oh. That's great advice, because it is. There's so much that's happening, and I feel as a young person sometimes, you remember those end of the world moments, and those are pivotal moments in a young person's life. In your life, you could probably go back and remember some of these things. My mom ruined my life 100 times, so I thought, right? Really?
My mom used to listen in on phone calls when girls would call my house. And then, you guys know my mom is amazing, right? And so sweet. But she would even respond sometimes. She'd be like, wait, who is this? Stephanie? Yeah, when I was your age, I didn't have to call boys. They called me.
Oh. Mic drop.
My mom, can you imagine?
Good.
Because she didn't want me being chased down by girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have happened anyway, Mom. Some of these responses on this BuzzFeed article, though, I think are so good. Let's read through some of them. So here's some of the responses to the question about adults. What is something every teenager needs to know?
Okay.
Take notes, because some of these I think are really good. When someone says you can't do something in your life, it means that they couldn't do it.
Exactly.
Not that you can't.
That is so true.
Such great advice.
And it's okay to say to no one, I'm sorry, failing is okay. It's not. We have to learn from our mistakes, right?
Yeah. Well, failing is not just okay. I think it's critical.
It is. Yeah, it's part of like who you are.
Yeah, through failure, you learn. It's okay to say no to anyone. I think that's really good too. I mean, saying no is something that I'm still learning how to do. We've
talked about that. Sometimes it's really hard to say no.
It's a little easier during COVID. Blanket no.
Oh, yes. We don't do anything in COVID. I'm not doing anything. When you make a mistake, own up to it. People are more willing to help you if you admit it. And honestly, people don't even remember it if you own up to it. It's those that don't. It's sort of the white elephant in the room, not acknowledging the fault or not being willing to move past it, right?
Well, I think it's a sign of strength to say the phrase, I don't know. In fact, the best bosses I have ever had have been the ones to say, like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Like, how can we navigate this situation together?
Right.
And I think that applies whether you're in a workplace or you're in a relationship. It's okay to say, I don't know, or I messed up. Or here, I maybe fell down this time, but I'm going to try to do better.
Right. Admitting the mistake, I think, is a very mature thing to do. A lot of people don't want to say, I'm sorry. Those words, I'm sorry, are very difficult to say for some.
Yeah. If you can start trying to save money now, you will definitely thank yourself later on. That is so true. Compound interest.
Absolutely.
And something my friend Lewis always told me is listen to that little voice in the back of your head. I mean, some people call it, I don't know, the little cricket on your shoulder or your conscience.
Intuition.
Yeah. And I think it's, if you have to talk yourself into something, that's maybe when you know you need to course correct. And there have been so many times in my life when I've just thought, wow, what have I done? Rethinking my life choices, right? Whether it's a bad relationship, but the only way you can course correct and find your destiny is if you listen to that little voice in the back of your head.
Absolutely. Well said.